How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. This is CryptoVatsik. I would really appreciate it before we get started if you hit that like button to support the channel. And if you find this content helpful, please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on future updates. As always, this is not financial advice and are my opinions only. Let's get into it. All right, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to use the Fibonacci tool. This tool is commonly used amongst a lot of traders, and a lot of success comes from some simple techniques using Fibonacci. However, oftentimes it's used incorrectly and therefore only overcomplicates people's trading. Watch how I use this tool in this video to seriously boost your trading. I promise, no matter the price and direction, this will benefit your trading. Now, really quickly, before we get into the price chart, we need to recap some simple rules around Fibonacci using Elliot Wave theory, and it's really important that we recap this quickly so you're sure that you're using it correctly. Okay, so now simple Elliot Wave theory, right, is 5-wave structure with 3 waves up and 2 corrective waves, okay? Okay, now the key here is you take your Fib tool and you measure, okay, the whole move of the first wave, and it'll give you your retracement levels here, okay? 23.6%, 38.20%, 50%, 61.8%, so on, okay? So then the next move, you take it again from the peak to the bottom of the full wave, okay? Wave 3, and again, same thing, retracement levels on your Fibonacci. Now you do not want to take the 5th wave and measure your Fibonacci looking for a retracement entry, okay? You do not want to use that on the 5th wave because the 5th is the 5th and final wave of the first major wave structure. So instead, what you are going to do is you're going to measure from the 5th wave down to the beginning over here of the entire move, okay, of this entire major wave impulse. And so now what are you looking for? You're looking for entries within these retracements, these ABC corrections down to catch the next wave up, right? So you're looking at these areas here, basically within your Fibonacci, you're looking at these areas for an entry, okay? And so how do you do that? Well, typically what people will do is they'll target the 61.8 percentile level, okay? So they'll target that, they'll ladder their buys down, likely around that level. However, if you see that the first wave corrects to the 618, given Fibonacci and Elliot Wave theory, is that the second up wave here, okay, wave 3, should only retrace less than the 61.8. So typically what you see is if the first wave retraces to the 61.8, then the next wave will typically retrace to the 38.2 percentile. And vice versa, if the first wave retraces only to the 38.2 percentile level, then you can expect the second wave up here, the third wave, to retrace to the 61.8 percentile at that point, okay? Now, once you've got your counts here for this first major wave, then what you're doing is you're measuring the full length of this move, right from the beginning to the end of the 5th wave structure, and then you're taking your Fib tool and now you're looking for that larger ABC correction down like this, just like that, ABC down, a retracement of this entire move, okay? So what that then tells us is that this is a major first wave of a 5th wave major structure, a five wave major structure, okay? So this is the first wave with 5 subwaves, okay? And then this is your corrective structure, wave 2. Just like that, okay? Now you can drill this down to high time frame and you can drill it down to super low time frame. So within those low time frames, you will see 5 subwave structures within these larger waves, okay? Just like this, something like this. And they can take many forms, but you will be able to find 5 subwaves within each major wave. Just like that, okay? Now, once this major wave completes and we're on our ABC major correction down, you will see something a little bit different, right? So since the trend has changed and now the trend is down on a higher time frame, you will see 5 wave structures down, okay? Just like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you will see ABC corrections heading up this time because this is now the trend is backwards, right? The trend is down. So this is a corrective structure of this overall correction down, right? So you see 5 waves down with an ABC up and then 5 waves down to complete this first and second major wave. Okay, so just super quickly, some rules to follow with what we just covered. Okay, here's some rules. So screenshot this if you want, but basically rules with Elliot Wave and Fibonacci that you need to follow for it to be used correctly, okay? And so the reason why we use Elliot Wave a lot here as well is because it goes hand in hand with Fibonacci. They give you your corrective targets and corrective structures on the Elliot Wave counts, okay? Okay, so we'll get into price chart really soon, I promise, but next I just want to cover super quickly the Fib Extension Tool. Okay, so we got a new 5-wave structure here, right? With wave 4 here, obviously not coming below wave 1 territory, right? So we cannot come below this wave 1 territory to keep this valid, right? So that's why we're drawing it. Looks perfect like this. Doesn't always look perfect on the price chart, but basically the rule of thumb cannot dip below this wave 1 territory. Okay, so we've got our 5-wave count here. And what the Fib Extension Tool does is Fib Extension, trend-based Fib Extension right up here on the Tool tab, okay? This is used to find your targets. So you're assuming you've already used your Fib retracement tool. You found your entry, okay? And so now you're looking to a target of where you would want to sell a long position, okay? So what you do is you take your Fib Extension tool, you measure from the beginning of the wave, okay? So we'll start with wave 1 here, and we'll come to the top, and then we will bring it down to where it retraces to, right here, okay? And that will give us our targets. Now, typically, people will target a 1-to-1 extension, meaning the second wave is equal in length to the original preceding wave, right? So wave 1, if we cloned this wave, right? If we cloned this wave here and we put it here, it would be a 1-to-1 extension, okay? Meaning 100% of the previous move. Now what the Fib Extension Tool can do is if it is going to exceed a 1-to-1 extension, it can give you your next targets. And I've got the 1.618 on my tool customized, but you can customize your tool to get many different levels. Okay, many different levels within this area that I'm sure would act as support and resistance on the way up. However, my next major target, if we're breaking wave 1-to-1 extension, then I'd just be targeting the 1.618. Now, on this first wave extension tool to get the length of our third wave, it is very likely that we will at least get a 1-to-1 extension, okay? And you'll see that when we move to the price chart in a sec, but it is very likely we'll get a 1-to-1 extension at the least, and oftentimes you'll see it hit the 1.618, okay? If you now are measuring for wave 3, okay? So from the bottom here of the beginning of this wave 3 to the top, okay? And you're trying to figure out where this fifth wave is going to go, it's not always common that you'll get a 1-to-1 extension on the fifth and final wave, okay? This final wave can take many different forms, okay? It can be very short, it can be very steep and aggressive, or it can be very extended, okay? However, take into consideration when you're doing your Elliott wave count is that your wave 3 is oftentimes the longest wave, but it is never the shortest, okay? So if this wave is very, very long on the fifth and final wave, then you just got to make sure that you start to look at the length of your wave 1 and your wave 3 and make sure that this is not the shortest wave, otherwise your Elliott wave count could be off, okay? Now, if you're looking to short on the ABC correction, okay, then you will take your trend-based Fib Extension Tool. From the top, the peak, the final wave 5, okay, is the beginning of your wave A, right? So you take it from the beginning of that wave A down to the level that it holds, okay, and then to your retracement level in wave B. So this time now it's just used upside down, okay? You're taking it to that level, okay, of that whole wave, and then again, you're likely targeting a 1-to-1 extension in wave C of wave A, okay? Now you'll notice this 1-to-1 extension is also probably a good area to look for an entry on this major wave 1 retracement structure, right? So if we just take a regular Fibonacci tool and measure the full wave, right? Full wave structure, then what do we get, right? Can you see that? We get perfect, almost perfect alignment between the 618 and the 1-to-1 extension of the ABC structure, okay? Okay, so that's your golden pocket, right? right in that green area. So it doesn't mean it can't retrace down to the 786, and doesn't mean it couldn't have just retraced, somewhere up here to the 382 right here, right? But you're basically looking at these levels and you're trying to find confluence, right? And confluence is where multiple TA lines up to support your thesis. So then what you'd be doing is you'd be zooming out. Let me just clean this up. You'd be zooming out on a higher time frame to find the major waves, right? So this is your major wave 1, right? Your major wave 2, and then you get your major wave 3, 4, and 5, something like that. And so then you'd be taking your fib retracement, measuring this full move, and since this one retraced to the 618, right, area, then you'd expect that the next wave would retrace to somewhere around the 38.2 percentile, right? Less so than the first one, all the while maintaining that level where we do not come into wave 1 territory, okay? Back here. Maintaining this level here with this retracement, okay? And then what do we do on the 5th wave? We do not measure that for an entry, okay? Because then this major wave here is going to have a large ABC correction down and it'll throw you off and you'll get stopped out or lose money. Okay, let's get into a real scenario. Okay, we got Solana USDT here. Can you see it? Where's our 5 major wave structure here? It's from the bottom of this move to the top, right? Well, it's right here. We got wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. And within that, we've got 5 sub-waves, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so something like that, you can get 5 subwave structures to make up these major waves, right? Now let's take a look what Fibonacci is doing on this first major wave. Okay, take it from the bottom to the top. We retraced to where? Right there. Okay, the 38.2 percentile. Okay, now let's see what wave 3 is doing. Take our fib tool from the bottom to the top, right there, bottom of the wave where it started over here, okay, to the top. And it's getting busy, but here, what do we see? It retraces to the 618. There's a long wick right here, okay? Hard to see, but it retraced right to the 618. Okay, see that? All the while maintaining wave 1 territory. Okay, see that? Came close, but did not breach this wave 1 peak. Now you're probably saying, cool, Vatsik, hindsight's 2020, right? You can count these after it's done, but I want to catch the move before it happens, or have clear targets of where it's going, okay? And so you use your retracement tool that I just showed you to get your entry. And now let's see what the Fib extension is doing, right? So take the Fib extension from the bottom to the top to the bottom of wave 2, right? So there you go. And we got at least a 1-to-1 extension of that first wave. And now let's see what the second wave did. Fib extension. Okay. What did we get? Almost a 1-to-1 extension, even on the 5th and final wave. Okay. And this is where laddering in your buys and your sell orders is key, so you don't miss the move entirely. Okay. Now let's see what the ABC correction is doing. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We got our A, B, C, and we got our 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. For our A, B, C. And what do we get on the Fib extension from the beginning, top to the retracement, right? Well, we got a perfect 1-to-1 extension target on the way down, with our 5th and final wave here of this overall A wave here of the ABC structure down to complete this correction of the major wave 5 structure impulse. Okay, so that's where it is, guys. I know it's hard to see sometimes, but if you really learn this stuff and use it correctly, it'll seriously help your trading. Thank you so much for joining. We'll see you on the next one.